Housing is killing fertility.
Yeah. Expensive housing.
Right.
Unaffordable housing.
Yeah.
So you need to have affordable housing, affordable family housing. And that needs to be a priority if you are a pro-family person.
Right.
And if you're not going to be pro-affordable housing, don't call yourself pro-family. You're actually anti-family if you don't want to build affordable housing.
That's so true.
This is the Nuclear Option Podcast with Chris and Aziza Butler, the podcast for those who dare to believe in the power of the nuclear family.
In a time when it's harder than ever to raise a family, we want to encourage you to be proud of your family. Invest in your family because our families are the most promising solutions for the problems in our world. Greetings. Welcome to the Nuclear Option Podcast, where we discuss the politics, the practice, and the promise of family.
Yes, indeed. From our home to yours, we are inviting you into a conversation about the family, not just as a private institution, but as a public good.
Woohoo!
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes. Guess who is 40, everybody? It's me.
It's not me.
40 and glad about it. So
40 and
excited.
beautiful.
Yay. Thank you, my love. I'm so excited. You were such a blessing. How you just celebrated me and surprised me. It was so great.
Well, you're very loved by very many people. Your friends are very solid planners and stuff, which is a little bit outside of my domain, but you have friends who nailed that.
Man, I couldn't imagine all the details you guys had to put together. That was so
I had
incredible.
to do nothing except call your people.
Well, I'm so thankful. And to everybody who just made it such a special time. I will be celebrating for the next
it is a continual celebration.
And 58 days, probably. So
say,
and then I'll
say
be done
something
after
in
that.
the chat, or we don't have a chat because we're not live.
We're not.
Say something in the comments and say happy birthday to Aziza. And while you were at it in the comments, once you get through saying something in the comments, will you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube? And if you listen to this on a podcast platform, will you give us a good review and share an episode with your friends and family who you think would benefit from the Nuclear Option Podcast?
Yes. This is
Really
such a, yes. And we really, really need you to just share the word about what we're doing here, because we really want to build up all these wonderful families, because I just really see like a army of empowered families just making a big difference in this world.
We can change the world.
Yes. Starting right here with your family and our family together. So we at least have two. So that's exciting.
We're headed in the right direction. So we're going to jump in to talking about something in the world of politics that relates to family.
Yeah, give it to us, love.
And I was really, I don't know, stirred might be the wrong word, but I was intrigued by a paper that came out. It is called Build Baby Build: How Housing Shapes Fertility. And essentially the broad claim of this research paper is that housing costs have actually contributed or been responsible for 51% of the fertility decline that we've seen in Western countries, period, which includes obviously the United States. And so if you follow the politics of family, you might remember earlier in the administration, President Trump was talking about like a $5,000 bonus for people who have like 6 kids, which is insane because it's like you need way more than $5,000 for like the 6th kid.
Right.
You should get like $5,000 for the first kid. Like by the time you do the 6th kid, like hit me with
a lot more,
$100,000, and we might consider. But it is like a real problem.
Yeah.
In our country and a lot of Western countries, like we have this fertility crisis,
right?
Where folks are not having enough babies.
Repopulating.
Not us.
If you know us at all, we have actually 6 children. So.
we had the 6th kid before the $5,000 proposal. So I don't know if we get grandfathered in. Like, does everybody who has 6 kids get
Right.
the $5,000? We
Let you
should
write them a letter. So look, we actually had 6 children before you.
if you happen to be, like, working in Congress and you're listening to this, when they work on that proposal, make sure
Father
that at
and the
least,
mother.
like, everybody who has, like, their 6th kid is, like, under 5 should get the
I agree.
$5,000.
That's perfect. Yes.
That's my proposal if you're listening and you're in Congress. But everybody else, other than us,
Right.
not everybody, but a lot of people are not having enough babies. We don't have enough babies being born.
Right.
And essentially, what this research is showing is that one of the main reasons that people hold off on marriage and having kids is that they won't be able to house the children,
Right.
which, as you and I know,
It's a hard thing, actually.
it takes a lot of house to house 6 children. I feel like we have like a decent sized house, and it's still
It
like,
feels kind of tiny
yeah, one
for
is not
enough
cheap,
space.
and two, it feels like, man, like where are we gonna put like another bed? Because that's the other thing about kids is that like they come small,
Right.
but
But they
then
just grow bigger and bigger.
and so they need more like stuff, bigger beds, and, like more dressers and all that stuff. Not that accumulation is the goal, but people hold off on having babies
Yeah.
because they can't afford housing. And so the essential claim, which I'm like, this is what we need to be doing here, is that like if we want to fix the fertility crisis, it like there's certainly like cultural things that we have to do, which we should be holding up marriage. Like that's why we have the Nuclear Option podcast. Like we should be celebrating family and all that kind of thing. But outside of like those culture things, a very basic thing is like we could be building affordable housing. And affordable housing is really, really hard. And it's like virtually non-existent
Hmm.
everywhere. And so a lot of times if you're like in like the pro family world, and I don't know if this is too much to say, but if you're in the pro family world, you're usually not so much in the affordable housing conversation.
Right.
Um, but this is the place where these two things can come together. Like
Yeah.
if you're in the pro family world, I need you to get into the affordable housing conversation. Team family is team affordable housing.
Yeah, I think it's also so interesting that one has impacted the other so drastically.
Yeah.
Like we're, in one camp, we're trying to figure out like, why are there so few, children. Um, like
Yeah.
why is the birth rate so low? But then when you look at it, there's so like this is a huge thing, like that we literally can't afford decent housing for
Yeah.
if you have 1 or 2 or 3 children. And I know you've heard of the whole thing where like there's a lot of I guess millennials, but also Gen Zers where they're
Mhm.
like intentionally like not having children, even though they're married and all of it. And they love
Yeah.
family. They're like, but it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So, and housing is a huge, huge part of it. So basically, housing is killing fertility.
Yeah. Expensive housing,
Right.
unaffordable housing.
Yeah.
So you need to have affordable housing, affordable family housing, and that needs to be a priority if you are a pro
Pro family
family
person.
person. And if you're not going to be pro affordable housing, don't call yourself pro family. You're actually anti family if you don't want to
Wow.
build
Yeah. Yeah.
affordable
Yeah.
housing.
That's so true. My gosh.
Um, so
That is so insightful. Thank you for bringing that out, love.
sad to be the bearer of bad news, pro family people. I love my pro family people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want you to be for affordable housing too.
Exactly. And who'd have thought that those two things would have been so connected to each other? What was
It's
what
literally
was the
half the
statistic that you
battle,
said?
51%. So it's like if you're like in my age group, then you remember G.I. Joe. You know, now you know. I know, and it's half the battle. Uh,
Right.
affordable housing
I'm
is
from your
literally
age
half
group,
the
but I
battle.
don't think I've heard that before.
You have heard that
I've
before.
heard G.I. Joe have no concept.
It's the end of the G.I. Joe show.
I
Now
think
you
I've
know,
seen
and
G.I. Joe
knowing is
even
half
one
the battle.
time. Now that's the
This
problem.
is a
I
shame.
think they
This is a
marketed to only
crisis.
boys. Maybe that's what it was.
This is
My
the other
bachelor
crisis,
brothers.
fertility crisis, and my wife hasn't seen too many shows crisis.
I've seen other shows like
Let's not go there. We'll have another episode about that. Too many things that come up this way. You want to talk to us about the
yes,
practice
the
of family?
practice of so today we're going to talk
Watch
about
TV.
but I do like that quote. That's really good. And I should go back and watch it. Like, wow, what a great quote.
You should. G.I. Joe on YouTube.
Another thing about it, one of the kids actually said the other day, like, oh, the G.I. Joe show or something.
I'm sure there's
That's
some version
amazing.
of it coming back because we don't create new stuff anymore.
That's so true. That's a whole nother
Another
problem,
episode.
Okay, but so for the practice, so as you know, if you've seen this before, if this is your first time, or if this is your first time, so we talk about the politics around family as we're just centering family in the public in the conversation and presenting it as a public good for our society. We talk about the politics, but then we talk about the practice of family. We just want to tell you something that we feel like you can put into practice that would be super, super helpful for you as you're doing this thing called life and building your family. That's going to be such a blessing to the world. So I want to talk to you all about the practice of apologizing, and that is to your children. Apologizing, just admitting when you miss the mark or when you miss the ball, or drop the ball. But being intentional about apologizing to them. Now, the reason why this is so important is because it leads the way in transparency and humility and all of that and sincerity. And it helps kids to know that we're not perfect either. We are humans just trying to figure it out. And I think that's so important. It helps them to just learn empathy and understanding it builds you all's bond. There's just so many great, fruitful things that happen for us as we do that, as we walk with our children. And when we make a mistake, we acknowledge it and just say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that,
Yeah,
or I'm sorry, I did that to you, or I forgot that. And it can just be so helpful. And one thing about when we do that is that it kind of opens the door for them to know that we don't expect perfection out of
right.
them and that we mess up. And praise God that God gives us grace and mercy. But it really can just be just a great, the foundation of a great relationship. There's lots of great studies and insights about this, where they have talks about just all these great benefits for families. So, so yeah,
What
have you
are
ever
the
practiced
benefits?
apologizing love? Saying that, but I know I heard you literally like
Yeah,
an
I
hour ago.
w and I didn't, realize that we're talking about apologizing to our children today. So I should say that I did not do this on purpose, but we were, like, leaving out the house, and I was trying to rush everybody out because I had a meeting that I needed to get to, and so I told one of our kids to, like, just he was, like, getting ready to, like, make his lunch, but sometimes, if you have your kids make their own lunch, that's a good practice because it develops
Responsibility and
other
all of that,
skills,
right?
but it takes a long time.
Right.
And so I was like, "Just go to the car. I
I'll
will
grab it
grab your
for you.
lunch."
Yeah.
And I forgot it. And so when he
Because you were doing
came
many other things too, however.
yes,
Yeah.
because I was doing many other things, but I did forget it. And so he came and was like, "Hey, daddy, where's my lunch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I forgot
Oh.
it." And so I was just like, "I'm really sorry. I forgot it." And I'm glad I did it this way because I will be upfront and say that I don't always do it this way. But I guess it's the grace of God and, the sort of providence of the Spirit. But there was, like, a little bit of inkling to say, like, "Oh, I was rushing around, I was doing too many
Sure.
things." But it's like, no excuses, no
Mhm.
explanation. I forgot it. I'm really sorry. How can I help make it better? So I, like, gave him I shouldn't tell you what I gave him. I gave him microwave popcorn out of my office.
Which is a
Um,
whole treat. So that was like he was very happy about
not very
the
nutritious,
microwave.
but it is a treat. Brings a smile
Great
to
break, like
everybody's face.
restitution.
Yes.
Yep.
But the framework of, like, good apologies, like, "I
Yeah.
take responsibility. I'm sorry. How can we make it better?"
Yeah.
Um,
And it was so sincere. It wasn't like,
yeah,
sorry.
I really did feel like crap.
Yeah. Aw. That's so sweet. You're such a loving father. So and I think this is really important because there are times when it's really necessary to give an apology. Like sometimes they just need to hear that, oh, I'm sorry, or
Mhm.
I didn't mean to do that, or I'm out, or I did that wrong. And it can just really fill in some, like help them to begin to move forward and move on. The thing of it is, kids are so forgiving already.
Yeah.
They do make it easy. They don't make a
Mhm.
big thing about like, "Ha ha, I knew it. You screwed up. You're
"You
so
suck,
terrible."
dad."
I found that they actually are extremely like,
Yeah.
like forgiving about it. So, but I will say, I think that this is hard for me. I don't know if I grew up hearing it as often. My parents are very much like that now, but I don't know if I grew up hearing it as often. So sometimes I feel like, oh gosh, I'm losing my like
Parental credibility.
right, credibility by saying like I'm sorry, but it really is the opposite. So I have to always just because I know it's better,
Mhm.
I have to like no, like this is not making it worse. This is actually making it better.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I'll come over a whole internal struggle to say like, hey, come here, I want to tell you something. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that or I shouldn't have said that. I didn't realize that that's what you needed. I apologize."
Yeah.
And they are so gracious. They're just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay." And I'm like, "Oh, I love you so much." They're like, "Love you too." And they just move right on. But it's just so helpful. You can tell it just helps them a lot. It helps me a lot too. So
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole psychology, just like of being the one doing the apologizing, which is healthy in and of itself. So yeah, apologizing to your kids is something that you can overlook, right?
hmm
Because you don't have to. You're not going to get in trouble. Like
hmm
they're not going to
right,
put you on
right.
punishment if you don't apologize. But it's so beneficial for your parenting, for your relationship with your kid.
hmm
For me, like it reminds me that I'm not perfect
Right,
and that I don't have to be perfect
right.
because I have this tool of apology. Like if
Mhm.
apology somehow didn't exist, then I would have to be perfect. There's this restorative
Yeah, already
um,
built in there. That's so
process.
good. And I think it helps them to forget about it even sooner. The things that it took me a longer time to apologize on, I feel like they still remember that. Remember that time when you did blah? And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. But the thing that immediately happened, like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Do you forgive me? And they never even talk about it again.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It's very healing.
Wow. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. So you all
Somebody
tell me
should
what
write that down somewhere.
so what has been you guys' experience with apology? Is that something you do? Is that something that's hard for you? I just encourage you guys to kind of dig deep. And then if you feel like apologizing is a hard thing or something you would not that you are opposed to, maybe why? And then yeah, and I wonder is there like a thing that we shouldn't apologize for? No, I think it's like, even if
I
it's
mean,
something hard, it's like, I'm sorry that, that this hurts, but we have to, go ahead and do this. Your room is a mess. I don't know, whatever the thing is. I think it can be super helpful either way, but
yeah, some people have a different opinion about this. Like even I'm thinking like in the pastoral counsel like world, but I'm of the opinion that it's really hard to over apologize. Let me not say over because I do think like apologizing over and over again for the
oh, I
same
see the
thing
same
is a
thing. Yeah,
different thing.
yeah, that's right.
But like to put the language of apology into a conversation. Some people are like, I wasn't wrong, so I'm not gonna apologize. Um, it's like, you weren't like the most
Perfect,
wrong,
right.
but there's always, if you're a human and you want to, you can find something in your intent and your approach and
That was
something
off.
that
Yeah,
was off that you can apologize
yeah,
for, which can grease the skids
yeah.
for reconciliation. That's just my view. I'm sure somebody else has another take, but whatever. Not your podcast.
Yeah. I wanted to say
Put it in
something
the
else.
comments.
I was talking to one of our friends' parents, and I think they were pastor. Their parents were pastoring for a long time. And one thing that she told me, and I think this is just so interesting, talking to people who are like been there, done that, and now they have grandkids and all that. But she
Mhm.
was saying one thing that kids remember more than anything, even if it was like if it was hard or if you were wrong or if that, whatever thing, she was like, the thing they remember the most is like your level of sincerity. Even if you don't know all the answers, if you don't know how to do the things, or if you mess up or whatever, they take note of like your sincerity. They can tell when it's something that like kind of your intent behind it. As I guess as they continue to, as kids continue to grow up and process that, that they'll notice like your sincerity. And so yeah,
Well,
apologizing is a
that's very wide.
I know, right? That's how I felt. I was like, "You're so wise. Tell me more." But yeah,
Is that somebody we can have on the podcast?
oh my gosh, I wish she would. That would be so great. Well,
Yeah.
I will ask her and then we'll let you guys know.
We'll tell you who it is when the person comes on.
Yes. Oh, that would be so great. Such a treat. But yeah, so apologies are just one way to be sincere. I mean, a sincere apology is definitely a way to show sincerity.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, so we talk about the politics, we talk about the practice, and then we just end our time here talking about
The
promise.
promise. And this is all about like how the things we do inside of our families can ripple out into the world as a blessing to the
Mhm.
broader society, to the broader world. And because this is the week of Thanksgiving, I think this is actually going to drop on actual Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
But right around it, the promise today that we want to talk about is actually it's kind of practice oriented, but it is the impact of having meals together on a regular basis. And so there's just a ton of research out there on this, but
Right.
it's something that doesn't get lifted up all the time. But it is all of the positive impacts of frequent meals together. So if you have breakfast together, if you have dinner together, the research shows that this is going to have positive academic sort of outcomes. The kids are going to get better grades in school, but not just get better grades, be better students, be better citizens. It has impacts on likelihood of like committing violence, likelihood of teenage pregnancy. It expands vocabulary, empathy. If you have meals together, you make better people, and
Wow.
better people make for a better world.
That's true.
And, you know, and family is one of the best places to have. It's not the only place to have meals together.
Right.
Um,
Especially regularly and frequently.
yeah, and so I guess it's like if you're not having meals together and you do have a family, it's such a blown opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, because everybody's gonna eat already, definitely.
Yes, they are.
And it's such a low overhead of how to make it happen. You just get a table, you know. For a
Hmm.
while we didn't. I remember when we first moved, we didn't have a table just because we had to fix it. We had that one table, it just wasn't working. We didn't have a table for a while, and then Apostle Renee like with the
Apostle
table.
Renee
Oh my
gave us a
gosh,
table.
so incredible. So it really helped our family. Even though I think we ended up having a kid or two more to expand the
Yes.
table too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like having it's such a low input for such a great outcome.
Yeah.
Like all you need is the food you were already going to eat, put it around the table, and you know it's probably because you're seeing each other. You have to talk, you
Hmm.
have to listen. There's just so many great things that are happening. So I can definitely see why it would bring about so many great
Yeah.
positive outcomes.
And this is a great time of the year, right? Because it's Thanksgiving and
Mhm.
holidays. Like,
Yeah,
this is a great time. Like if you're not doing family meals, it's like a great time to kickstart that.
yeah, yeah.
Because you know,
Yeah, do that Thanksgiving, and then the next morning, go ahead and do that again and sit around that same table, and then for lunch or dinner, do it again. Like it can just be really helpful.
yeah. And it does like if we could be real, like it's hard to do this every single day
Yeah,
in the modern world, especially as kids get older,
yeah,
schedules get
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
But you know, if you can try to nail it, like my goal, I don't think I'm there yet. And my family, our family, has meals around the table sans me much more frequently than I would like. Um,
Oh, that's so sweet.
one of the papers that I was reading suggested like if like 3 times a week
Hmm.
is like a sort of a low bar goal, like a minimum goal. It would be like 3 times a week we're gonna have a meal together around the table.
Right.
Um, and if you do that, is going to be a blessing to the whole world because you're going to be putting better people into the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is not in the research, but I also think inviting people to the table
For
is
sure.
a blessing. Like we love having people
Yeah.
to the extent that we can get more people around our table. But we did. God bless us with
38.
a
Now we
table
have
for
like
10, so we at least have like
spaces.
clearly 2 spaces, but we still have little kids, so we can
We
get.
have that bench. There's a lot of
Yeah, I
people
mean,
at
we
the
got the
bench.
bench thing, so you can put
Mm-mm.
like if you want to, you can put like 5 kids on that bench.
All
Like,
right.
uh,
Well, now once they get to the age of our older kids, now they're like, but yeah, it is. I think it has to have some great benefits to bringing other people around too, and sharing a
mhm,
meal with like when our parents come over
yeah,
or friends are over. It's just such a great thing.
yeah, uh,
They naturally are having conversations and
mhm,
excitement and sharing about things, and it's hard to be quiet
yeah,
at the table when you're with your whole family.
yeah, and so it's an additional blessing because then you're mixing up the conversation. Like
Yeah.
kids are getting exposed to different kinds of people. Like
Hmm.
been with the grandparents, we had our moms over for a birthday breakfast. We have a lot of birthdays.
We do. Butler
But we
birthday
had a
breakfast.
recent Butler birthday breakfast, and our moms were over. It was my birthday. No,
Uh,
we went to the restaurant for my birthday.
it was Azim's
It was
birthday, I
Azim's
think.
birthday.
Yeah. Or maybe mine. No, it
I know
wasn't
we went to
mine.
the restaurant for your
Oh
birthday.
gosh. I don't know. It
It
was
was
somebody's
a birthday.
birthday.
I feel like it was mine because I feel like they were talking about my mom was telling the
Oh,
story
about
when I
being
was
born.
born.
Yeah. Yeah. It
But
was.
like my kids hearing my mom tell the story of when I was born,
Oh
like
yeah.
that is like a perfect thing to happen
Yeah.
around the table.
Yeah.
Um,
Everybody is paying attention and engaged and oh, it's so good. I know for me as a mom, sometimes it's hard for me to like of course the kids are eating at the table every day. Honestly, I feel like, go eat a snack. They're always at the table. I feel like, but um I mean, I'll say, "Go eat your snack at the table." But a lot of times I wanna forego sitting at the table with them because 'cause I'm like, "This is a moment where I know I don't have to, like, necessarily watch them," because if they're running all over the house, I'm not like, I'm having to keep an eye on this one and go over there and do this. When they sit at the table, I'm like, "Ooh, okay, you all just do that thing. Let
Yeah.
me do the thing I need to do. I've been needing to use the bathroom. I've been needing to clean this thing up. I've been meaning to check this." Or I just need a minute, like,
Mhm.
to hear my own thoughts. Like, and so I like let them sit at the table. So sometimes I have to just break out of that because I don't often eat when they eat because I
Mhm.
feel like eating should be more relaxing. I was like, I want to actually enjoy my meal, and I can't do that if I'm like grabbing this, doing that, go back and get this, you know. And so sometimes I'll just hold off and I'll just sit with them. But anyway, I'm just wondering if other parents have that same thing, like a hesitancy to eat with them because they are, you know, doing the thing
Stressful.
they couldn't do while they're
Yeah,
occupied at the table.
but it's worth the sacrifice for the world.
It is. Yeah.
Um,
I love that. It's worth the sacrifice for the world to
and
eat
I
at the
think you'll find
table.
it's not as much of a sacrifice as you think. Like,
Right.
your kids are cool.
They are.
Our kids are cool.
They're great. They make great. They're very entertaining too.
Yes,
Even
great
the 1 year
meal
old
partners
or
and
almost
thought
2 year old.
partners.
Yeah.
So eat with your kids.
Yes. This is great. Aw. All right, guys. This is so good. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to subscribe or like it wherever you're watching this. I have
Yeah,
no idea where, but if you
yeah.
can leave a review,
Subscribe, leave
we really need your help with that.
share the
Extra input.
podcast.
Yes, and
That's
share
like a
it.
super helpful thing. Like, just leave a review and share an episode with somebody. Super helpful.
Yes. All right. Well, blessings to you guys. Keep on loving each other
Hold on to truth.
and harness
Harness
your
your
power.
power.
See you next time.